whether you're fishing or out enjoying the nice weather, more boaters will be out on the water. So it's important to stay safe this morning. Ansley Watson is joining us to tell us more about how we can do that. Nice sunrise behind you, Ansley.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful, Vicki?
Gorgeous.
It's so gorgeous. Today is the last day for National Safe Boating Week, and this morning we're joined up by the Marquette County Sheriff Department, and we're just going to talk about what you can do to stay safe before hitting the waters. A lot of accidents that take place out on lakes or rivers is so preventable. It's whether you're wearing a life jacket or just having the right tools or equipment in your boat. Just being aware of your surroundings can help as well. But we'll have more details later in the hour, so stay with us. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley. Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
As National Safe Boating Week comes to a close, we're learning what needs to be done to be a more responsible boater out on those waters. This morning, Ansley Watson is at Lower Harbor to tell us more. Good morning, Ansley.
Vicki, good morning. It's not too difficult to stay safe. Comes down really to a life jacket. Sergeant Eric Decker is joining me this morning with the Marquette County Sheriff's Department. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Good. A little cold this morning. Yep. That's number one thing we talk about for boating safety is the life jacket. Coast Guard statistics say that with most boating accidents or water-related accidents, if there's a drowning, 90% of those people could be saved if they were wearing a life jacket at the time. So at this time, I'd like to talk a little bit about life jackets. The first thing that people should know, in order for it to be considered a life jacket, it has to be U.S. Coast Guard approved. And that's going to say that somewhere on the life jacket. So when you're in Walmart or somewhere else and you're buying a life jacket, you're going to look for that label to make sure that it says U.S. Coast Guard approved. The other thing is with life jackets, you want to make sure that it's a proper fit for the individual. So you obviously wouldn't want a child size one for adults. That does not count. So if you get stopped out on the water and you're checked for your life jackets, you got to make sure that it fits the person that we're talking about.
When it comes to actual fitting, is there a technique you can look at to know, okay, yeah, this one does fit me well, this one doesn't fit me well? Well,
it'll tell on the life jacket somewhere what size person that it's for, but you can look at it pretty much, you know, for a guy my size, I'm going to need a life jacket like this, okay? And in Michigan, life jackets are divided into 4 different categories, category 1 through 4, and what we have right here is a type 1 life jacket. Type 1 is it's for the longer rescues. It's going to keep you afloat longer, and if the victim is unconscious, it has the ability to roll them upright. So type 1 is what you want for they call it the offshore life jacket. If you're out on the Great Lakes and stuff, you're looking for something like this. The one that I just had here a second ago, this life jacket here, known as a type 2 type life jacket, your standard life jacket, pretty inexpensive, still a good life jacket. You can go to most stores and purchase these, and it's for a little bit quicker rescue, but it's also designed to take the unconscious person who's in the water and turn them upright also. And then moving on down, this example right here is of type 3 life jacket, okay? And a lot of people look like for skiing and stuff like that, ski vests and stuff. Now this won't turn a victim upright in the water if they go unconscious. And last but not least is the type 4. There's an example of it right here. A throwable seat cushion is a type 4 type life jacket also.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Right.
We'll have more details later in the hour. Stay with us. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley. As this weather gets nicer, we're going to need all the good advice we can about being safe out there.
Before hitting the water in a boat, it's important to run through a basic safety checklist. Ansley joins us at Marquette's Lower Harbor to tell us more about Safe Boating Week. Good morning again, Ansley.
Good morning, Andrew. That's right. We're continuing to learn about what you need to do to just be safe out on the water. Joining me this morning is Corporal Errol Lukarainen. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
We're doing well. So we were talking life jackets earlier. What are some other things on that checklist before you go out in the water that boaters need to be aware of?
Well, with the holiday season and summer approaching, this is the boating season right now, you want to make sure that your boat's in top shape before you even hit the water. And that's by going through it, making sure your engine's in good condition, making sure that you have the proper and the required equipment with you at all times.
When people are out on the water and they do get in an accident, what are maybe some of those causing factors in that?
Well, you need to drive within your abilities, and and you want to make sure that you have the proper life jackets with you, and you want to make sure that you don't mix boating with alcohol.
Is there something that people need to know if they're bringing young children on boats? Is there special requirements for them?
Well, for children, anybody under 6 years of age, if they're underway, and that means when they're driving, actually operating their boat, they have to wear a Type 1 or a Type 2 life jacket at all times.
What about weather? Obviously, we live on a great lake here. This lake can get rough sometimes with weather. How do people know maybe today's not a good day to go out?
Okay, well, you need to look at the marine forecast and check the weather frequently. Make sure that you have a marine radio with you. Make sure you have a cell phone with you, and make sure you always tell somebody where you're going and what time you're going to be back. And that's part of a float plan. And the float plan is a description of your boat, making sure that you tell everybody, tell somebody. It could be a family member, a loved one, where you're going, what time you're going to return, and the equipment that you have on your boat with you. And
what would that equipment be? I mean, if you're stuck somewhere, you're in an emergency, what do you need to have on you to make people aware, hey, I need help?
Yeah, well, one of the big things, you want to have some type of visual distress signals, and it's required when you are on the Great Lakes. Inland lakes, there's a little bit different requirements, but you want to make sure that you take something with you so you can alert other people if there is an emergency.
There are a ton of rules, regulations. Is there somewhere people can go to look at to read these?
Yep. In Michigan, Department of Natural Resources regulates most of the rules on the water, or the U.S. Coast Guard. So you can go right to the Department of Natural Resources website and get the requirements that you need.
What else would you like to tell people to do or just to be aware of before they go out into the waters?
Just make sure that you have the proper gear. Make sure that your equipment's in good condition. Make sure that you have your fuel, your oils full before you do go out, and just be safe.
All right, Corporal, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
No problem.
Reporting live, Marquette, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Marine News after the break.